Hey y'all, so today's video is about holsters. We're doing made to order versus mass produced. I have a variety of different holsters here from a few different brands on the bench, and I've got 4 different topics: ease to get, options, quality overall, and cost. We're going to go over all of them, and hopefully by the end of this video it'll help you figure out which type of holster is best for you. Now the first category, speed and ease of get, is of course always going to pretty much go hands down to anything mass produced. Obviously, you know, something that's being stamped out, cranked out on an assembly line, and you can pretty much get them everywhere, is of course going to be quicker to get. You can get mass produced holsters anywhere: gun shops, Midway, Brownells, Amazon, even eBay, you name it, it's on there. So ease of speed to get, definitely mass produced holster. Obviously, most of your made-to-order holsters are going to take much longer, sometimes anywhere from 2 weeks all the way up to 2 months. Some holster companies. I know there's some that are really high-end that put a lot of effort into their holsters, and it can take quite a long time. So as far as speed needs to get, hands down goes to your mass-produced holster. As far as customization options, hands down goes to made-to-order holsters. The thing with mass-produced holsters is, while there's a good bit of options, you're limited to their specific options. For instance, for one type of gun, there might only be one type of holster. For instance, this is an L-frame holster. This holster is designed for L-frame, and it's 3-inch, but basically it's designed so it'll fit a bunch of variety of different guns that are all this same size. And they don't give you the option, if you have a shorter barrel than 3-inch, to have a shorter holster, so you're kind of stuck with that. Not the end of the world, but options wise you're pretty much limited to what they have. Whereas with made to order holsters, on the other hand, you can pretty much have them make whatever you want. This holster right here is marked N-frame 4-inch PD because this holster was made specifically for my N-frame 329 PD, which I don't have at the moment. But so yeah, and as far as having it made for exactly what you want, you can have it made exactly the way you want when you're dealing with made to order. So these are both just normal leather, but you can get custom carving, you can get custom designs. There's companies like Savoy Leather that make beautiful designs on holsters. You can have different materials, different, you know, instead of just cow leather, there's a million different other leathers out there, some really nice, really beautiful, and you know, the basically it's whatever you can think of is the limit to what they can do. So customization options, hands down, goes to your made to order holsters. Now the aesthetics of the holster, that one I guess is subjective, but again I'm going to give that to the made to order holster. For instance, we have 2 revolver holsters here, right? And side by side. Now you ask the question, if you had a barbecue and you were going to quote unquote use your barbecue gun, which holster would you rather be reppin', to quote the young kids nowadays? Obviously this one. They hand boned everything. It's much nicer look, whereas this, you can tell it was pretty much just a mold that was stamped out down the line. And nothing wrong with the holster, but you can just tell that a lot more tender love and care went into something like this, where you can see the hand stitching, you can see everything, where something like this that's much more obvious that this was just cranked out on an assembly line. And the same thing is kind of true with the 1911 holster. You can tell it's a mold a little bit more, and you know, this of course is hand boned. It's not as obvious on a 1911 holster because 1911s are all pretty much the same, but just aesthetic wise, it just, again, and it kind of combines the fact that you can get different customization options. So if you really want to go fancy, hands down, made to order takes it on that. Not that these are ugly looking holsters, but I just think at the end of the day, if you're really looking for a high end holster, a really beautiful, something that you can be really proud of, made to order hands down takes. Now we're going to cover cost. Now cost is kind of an easy one because obviously when you're having one person make a holster and it's being done one at a time, it's going to cost more than something being cranked out and mass produced. These holsters are, of course, going to cost more than your mass-produced holsters down here, but usually not that much more. For instance, your average Galco DeSantis 7091, the Triple K, the variety of different companies out there producing like mass-produced holsters, anywhere from maybe 50 up to 70, $80 a piece, right? But with that said, your made-to-order holsters aren't that much more. I think this holster was like 89, and this I actually got off an eBay deal. But again, this holster I think was like 80 or 89 again, so not too much more for having something hand done and custom done versus something that's just stamped out. So I gotta give cost. Cost I guess is just subjective. Like, yes, it's a little bit more, but overall value I think is about the same for what you're getting. And yeah, but cost I'm calling that subjective. So that's that. Final one is quality, and I guess at the end of the day, that's kind of what matters is quality. Now, to start out with quality, I want to mention break-in times. All of these holsters here, the mass-produced holsters, have a break-in period. Something like this 1791 actually had a quite aggressive break-in period and break-in. You'll notice here where it's all rubbed here because I had to do an extensive break-in to get it because it's a very stiff holster, which is a good thing. But it was quite an aggressive break-in period, right? Again, same thing with the DeSantis. It was very stiff when you got it, and the reason that is because some of these holsters, especially like revolver holsters, are kind of made for a lot of the guns that are the exact same size. When it comes to revolvers, your Ruger GP100, your 586, 686, Colt, all the different revolvers, they're all pretty close in dimensions, so because of that they can usually get away with making something like this that'll fit all those guns, but it might need to be broken in a little more to fit that specific gun. Whereas something like this, right now, this holster here, I wore this today for the first time, right? So this, and I literally pulled it out of the packaging yesterday. It was sitting on my bench and I put it on today, right? So I want to show you something. Right in, slids right in, doesn't fight me at all. And as you can see, right, I'm shaking that really hard, and that holster is not budging. And then real nice, clean, smooth draw. Reason being is because of the fact that this was molded specifically for a 1911, specifically for this particular gun. You're going to have a better fit, and you're not going to have necessarily a break-in period because someone went and hand boned it and hand molded it rather than it just being stamped out of a mold over and over and over. So quality, at least as far as break-in, I think quality easily goes to that. The other thing is, quality-wise, is a lot of these made-to-order holster companies, they, of course, are proud of their brand. They're all for a lifetime warranty. Now, not all of these companies do. I know some offer a lifetime warranty, but pretty much your made-to-order companies are always going to offer that lifetime satisfaction guarantee. So that's something to keep in mind, and that kind of goes into the cost. You're paying for a lifetime guarantee that the holster is going to function. But now, if you're just looking at functionality, right? After you break in your holster, if day to day, which is better, that's kind of where it gets pretty close, because at the end of the day, any of these holsters are going to suit your needs. That's what I tell people when when you're starting out carrying, or if you're maybe moving up to a heavier, bigger gun or whatever, a decent holster is the number one thing, that and a decent belt. And in reality, any decent quality holster, whether it's made to order or custom done, is going to suit your needs. So quality, again, quality kind of like cost. I would definitely say your made-to-order holster is a higher quality, but by no means is your mass-produced holster garbage. I just think that at the end of the day, if you're looking for the utmost of quality and you're willing to wait a little bit longer, uh, look at maybe a made-to-order holster, especially if you want to have more options, or if you just need a holster right now and it doesn't have to be beautiful, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you're willing to, break it in and maybe not have it look, the absolute prettiest, we'll say, maybe look at mass produced. So, with that being said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them down below, and have a good day.